What is going on, guys? It is Tony's Takeaway. Back at it with another video. And this one isn't your regular podcast. It's not me talking for like 30, 35, 40 minutes. Like I've been saying for the past week or so, I would be making these kind of Laker videos for basically after the game, after, each Laker game. Hopefully this regular season I can give out my thoughts and just try to give out my opinion regarding this kind of stuff. So let's just go ahead and get right into it, because obviously we had the Lakers play against the Golden State Warriors on opening night. And it's a tough one to swallow. I'm not going to lie, it's a tough one to swallow because of the fact that, the Lakers were basically winning the whole game, right? And then in the fourth quarter, they just couldn't execute as well as Golden State, right? I mean, you had Golden State's ball movement that just was the highlight of the game, right? I mean, they had 30 plus assists, while obviously the Lakers didn't have nearly as many. And really the Warriors just looked more of a team, especially in the fourth quarter. They executed and they didn't turn the ball as much compared to the Lakers. And I do want to say this one thing before I actually get into the stats and what I watched throughout the game. I think everybody needs to calm down. If you are a Laker fan, please calm down. Because, I know what people are going to say. Oh, we went 0-6 in the preseason. Right now we're starting 0-1 in the regular season. Right? Maybe this team isn't as good as it was as it was advertised, right? And, obviously in the heat of the moment, you can probably come up with a mindset somewhat like that, but that's not the right mindset to have. I'm just advising you guys to calm down. A couple years ago, this Laker team, not even close to the same, but somewhat, you had the main players like LeBron and AD, right? They lost to the Clippers in opening night, and then they proceeded to just go on a winning streak afterwards. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen this time around. I'm just saying just because we don't win on opening night, it doesn't mean that it's the end of the world and that we're no longer contenders or whatever the case is. I think that's just I just think that's BS in my opinion. But, let's just go ahead and get into the game, because you had... you're trying to wonder, okay, is LeBron going to load manage? Is AD going to load manage? How are they going to fit their minutes together? Or whatever the case was. LeBron and AD came to play. Okay, obviously you had LeBron with 36 minutes. You had AD with 38 minutes. And each of them did not disappoint. I mean, that just goes to show how much a full offseason does for this team, especially for players like LeBron and AD, who had a very short one just the year before, right? I mean, LeBron and AD looked like they were in shape. They look quick. They look strong, right? So LeBron, he just had a good game overall, right? 34 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal and a block, right? And in terms of shooting the ball, 3-point shooting and just 2-point shooting with the mid-range, he was just excellent at it. His free throw shooting... that's always a concern for me, right? I've always believed that he was never a great free throw shooter, and 3 for 6 does not surprise me. But that's another story for another day that we'll get into eventually. AD, 33 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks. People want to talk about how AD was soft. He wants to talk about how how he gets injured so quick. Anthony Davis is here. He's healthy and he's ready to play. He is going to dominate. And I've been saying this for a while now. Anthony Davis is going to come out this season with anger because, all of a sudden people forget about the 2020 championship. People don't credit the Lakers as much as they should. And obviously that's going to motivate a player like Anthony Davis who, takes responsibility on his shoulders if they lose or if he doesn't play well. And Anthony Davis is that kind of guy. So, yes, the Lakers lost, but what I saw from LeBron, obviously turning 37 soon in year 19, he played amazing. Anthony Davis played amazing. So those two players from the 2020 championship team, the two best ones, they didn't concern me whatsoever. The only thing that I have to knock against them was that they combined for 5 of 13 from the free throw line, right? I mean, given how much the Lakers lost by, every point counts. That's my thing. But I know what people are going to talk about, and I'm going to talk to you guys about it, because I know Russell Westbrook is going to get a lot of criticism for today's game. But I'm going to sit here and hopefully relax you guys a little bit, because Russell Westbrook had the worst plus-minus in the entire game. He had 8 points, 4 turnovers, 4 fouls. I mean, that's about it. I'm just looking across the stat line, and I watched the game, right? And Russell Westbrook did not look that great today. I'll admit it. I'll be the first to admit that. But Russell Westbrook, see, the reason why LeBron and AD played well so together is because they're already familiar with Frank Vogel's system, how their team operates, with them being the two best players in the team, right? Westbrook is that kind of player where you need to take time to kind of mesh together, right? Westbrook is not, oh, you plug him in and then you're going to go 72-10. It's not going to be like that. And I've warned you guys before, there are going to be obstacles throughout the season, right? And they're just going to have to overcome them. Every single player on the Lakers recognizes that, which is why we shouldn't sit here panicking as to why Russell Westbrook played poorly, as to why the Lakers lost to the Warriors. I mean, the Warriors, they just have more of an established team in the sense that they've been together, right? I mean, this team, when I'm looking at the Laker roster, it's a completely new team with the exception of a few players. And when you have a player like Westbrook, who is a superstar, right? It's not going to be easy to have him mesh along with the rest of the team and the coaching staff. It's going to take time. And the reason why I say that is like you could look at, LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. They didn't start off that well, right? If I recall, they started off like 11-9 or something of that sort, right? And people are questioning their fit. But you see how that turned out. So I'm just saying this team is built more for the playoffs. Not to say that they'll play poorly throughout the regular season. They'll have their challenges, right? But as the season progresses, it's going to get better for them because of the fact that, their chemistry is probably at an all-time low right now just because they haven't played with each other that much. But like I said, as the season, moves forward, then they're going to get much, much better. But I do want to talk about certain players like, a Carmelo Anthony and an Avery Bradley. I'm really happy with those two pickups. Carmelo, he just came in and made a few shots. For me, he kind of replaces Kuzma's role from last season, right? So I think Carmelo can just do that. I was really happy with what I saw, obviously with him shooting threes, him being in the post, whatever the case was. Last year and the season before, with the Lakers being in contention, we didn't really have a player who could create his own shot, right? Kuzma was really iffy about it. So Carmelo could really be that guy and gives us more offensive flexibility in terms of, can someone post up? Can someone fade away? Can someone... You know what I mean? It's not just a catch-and-shoot kind of player. Carmelo is one of those guys that can create his own shot. And then you got someone like, an Avery Bradley. I mean, we literally picked him off of waivers yesterday, and he played pretty well for the time he played in today. He's already comfortable with this system, so I think he'll fit in just fine. And then you got players like a Malik Monk and a Dwight Howard. With Dwight Howard and DeAndre Jordan, I think they're going to be fantastic together. It's going to be similar to what we saw with Howard and JaVale McGee a couple seasons ago. But I'm not concerned for this team at all. They were the number one team defensively last year, right? We had injuries last year. Even with Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell and stuff of that sort, before the injuries, we were 23-6, first in the West. So my thing is, if we can stay healthy, that's the most important part. If we can stay healthy, and honestly, that's what the teams want. Every single team wants to stay healthy, but it's easier said than done. I think we'll be fine. I'm not concerned too much. I know people are tripping out about, the Warriors beating us, but let's give credit where credit is due. The Warriors, they are a fantastic team. And Steph Curry, he didn't necessarily have a great game. In fact, you could probably look at his stats and say he had an awful one. 5 of 21 shooting. But it's the players like a Jordan Poole, like an Andrew Wiggins, like those kind of players that came in and made the difference, right? They just had the ball movement. They made the buckets when it mattered most. And the Warriors, right? With or without Klay, they're still a playoff team. We've seen that before. And that's my thing. We didn't lose to some bum team, right? This is the Warriors we're talking about. So I'm not going to hold that against the Lakers. I think they did what they could, right? They held their own for most of the game, right? They're up 5 to 7 points, somewhere around that range for a good amount of the game. So I'm not too concerned. I advise you guys to please stop worrying and calm down because I get it. I don't like the fact how the Lakers started 0-1, but let's be honest here. When was the last time they started 1-0? Last time when they started 1-0 was 2014 against the Clippers. You remember that? When we had Jordan Farmar and Wesley Johnson in that crew? Yeah, that team didn't really go anywhere. So what I'm saying is, it's the beginning of the season. Teams are going to make mistakes, especially new ones like the Lakers. And when you're trying to insert a third superstar into already a contending team, there's going to be challenges throughout the way. No one said this was going to be easy, but I guarantee you everyone's going to be overreacting. The media is going to come out tomorrow and say, oh, this Laker team's old. They're not going to win. All this other kind of stuff. But, that's the whole point of me giving out my take, especially for Laker videos, because I believe that when it comes to this kind of game, right, I expected a Laker win, but I didn't discount the Warriors at all. I thought Steph was going to go off and the Warriors were going to compete, and that the Lakers would break away in the fourth, but it was the other way around. So it was really close. It could have gone either way, but all I'm just saying is calm down. We got this, okay? But that's all. I mean, I kind of just wanted to go over the game and moving forward, we have the Suns next, I believe, on Friday or Thursday. I think Friday. But that's going to be another good but tough game. But I'm not too worried right now, okay? And neither should you guys be. So, that's all. Drop a like on this video. Comment down below what your guys' thoughts were on the Lakers' loss to the Warriors on opening night. And subscribe for more, guys. All right, guys, peace out. Take it easy.